use my Spanish there very much. There were, though, 2 employees from Puerto Rico, and they frequently spoke in Spanish, and once they found out that I was a Spanish major, you know, we would have little side conversations in Spanish, so I kept it in check a little bit. But I did not, you know, officially, like, use my skills there. But it was funny because when I interviewed, everyone kind of snickered in the room. It was a group interview when I first walked in. And I said, oh, what's going on? And they said, we were going to conduct your interview in Spanish because you said you were a Spanish major, but none of us speak Spanish. But it was, you know, it was a good icebreaker, a good, you know, thing to just kind of break the ice when you walked into that room faced with 5 people. But it's definitely, you know, no matter what kind of job you're applying for, put it out there. It's applicable everywhere, you know. So I worked at Biogen for 3 years while studying for the MCATs, and I applied to med school and ended up going to PA school. So I'm in school at Mass College of Pharmacy, which is in Worcester. There's a branch, the main part is in Worcester, but there's some in Boston and an office in Manchester. My program is a 2-year accelerated program, and we are with Manchester. My classes are taught DE, it's called distance education. So it's on a screen, and we interact with Manchester live on the screen. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I definitely know that my Spanish skills will be helpful in 2 years, or actually next year when I'm in my clinical rotations. We're at a lot of urban settings, you know, using your Spanish skills, and I took the medical Spanish class here, and I know that's going to come in handy. You know, professors talk about it now. Knowing another language is really important, and as part of my program at school, we are required to do a volunteering. It's called service learning. So we volunteer at different sites throughout Worcester. Every student is placed somewhere different, and mine is at Lutheran Social Services in downtown Worcester. And just today I was there and met 2 people from the Dominican, and we were talking, and I told them about my background and said I was Spanish, and I was able to communicate with them a little bit, and they're learning English, and you know, I'm still using my Spanish skills, so it was nice to just have that, you know, in your back pocket, and it's, you know, it's everywhere. So that's where I am now, and how I got there. So if anyone has any questions about the biotech world, chemistry world, I have more information about that too. So, yeah.
Okay, being a teacher, I have a little PowerPoint for you. I teach high school. I think I turned it on. We have the good thing about teaching in Reading, I student taught in Worcester, but in Reading we have smartboards in every classroom, and we all have computers, so it's been great to be a new teacher, learning everything, but therefore I spend lots of time making these presentations and things like that. So that's my email if you want to send me an email, ask questions. If you want to come visit RMHS and come talk to my classes, go for it. You can come check it out firsthand. So, where'd you point it at?
At the computer, it should work on.
I don't know. I'll just go. There you go. So, I was a Spanish major. Obviously, I did the concentration in teacher education program. I know they might be changing the titles of that a little bit, but since 2nd grade, I wanted to be a teacher. Always wanted to be a teacher. Always that kid helping teachers, 5th grade, organizing in the Future Teacher Club in high school. Like, all my students are like, how could you wanted to teach us? I'm like, well, I didn't have you in mind, but I studied in Leon for my junior year. Fantastic experience, unforgettable. Ups and downs, of course, of anything, but just being with the beautiful Catedral, my awesome host family, seeing Spain. Actually, I started dating a Holy Cross over there, and we're engaged now, so Leon memories for long times to come. So Luna de Miel and España, probably. So you never know, people studying abroad, what could happen. So, back at Holy Cross, I tried to really branch out and do lots of different things related to my interests. I tutored in a few different things. Senior year in the Spanish Writers Workshop. I tutored at Burncoat when I was a sophomore, tried to get to know the community where I'd be student teaching. And I also worked at Isla Innovative Services for Latino adolescents during my sophomore year for a CBL for Professor Stone's class. And I was senior interviewer for admissions, which I found really helps you as a high school teacher, telling the kids, no, this is what they're looking for and this is what happens, and you actually need to do well in your Spanish class because that counts just as much as your English and your math class and all of that. I did ballroom dance team, which was a lot of fun. I also taught ballroom dancing after school, got involved, ran that club for 2 years in Reading. Not the most popular club, but we still had a great time, did some talent show type performances, and now I'm a Zumba teacher, so it's kind of all come together, and that brings the Espanol into it too, so it's a lot of fun. I did the student advisory committees for modern languages and education, and that really just gives you an idea of how teachers work, how students are in the classroom, like really fantastic experiences. And then I was an RA in Wheeler my sophomore year, which was definitely an experience managing that and running hall programs. After a fantastic year studying abroad, came back for a fall semester, did some observations, took my last Spanish classes, poetry and Spanish in the U.S., both wonderful experiences. Then I was thrown into the student teaching experience. Are any of you in the TEP program here at all? No. Okay, so I'll give you some tips about grad school stuff after. TEP is fantastic. Most people come into teaching in a high school with not much training. A lot of our friends decided upon graduation to go into teaching. To be able to do it and have the training and have the support. I mean, we had 6 people when I was student teaching. 6. And you have your professor and you have your mentors and everything. BC, for example, where I did my graduate school, their undergrad is just huge. So it's very different. So if you have any friends or who are younger thinking about teaching, tell them to really get involved in the TEP here. I taught Spanish 2 honors, Spanish 3 honors, and Spanish 3 college, so had the different level experiences, worked with 2 teachers, and through the requirements and completing a practicum binder and everything, I got my initial license, which you have to get with a bachelor's degree. I can explain all the different things about licensure if you have questions, because I've been to a few workshops. It's all very complicated, and there's lots of different regulations, and there's kind of some loopholes and sneaky things that they do at the DESE, so you got to be careful and make sure you have the right certification. But initial is good for 5 years, so I can teach for 5 years and then move on to professional licensure. So at the end of Holy Cross, I didn't know if I wanted to go back and travel abroad. I was thinking about Fulbright, thinking about Auxiliar in España. I was also thinking about teaching. I was looking into public, private, Carnegie Sando, thinking about grad school, and I just know like teaching is an all-consuming job, and to have to do grad school at the same time I thought would be too tough. I ended up getting into BC, great next step, Jesuit school, same kind of philosophy, just kind of felt like a bigger step, bigger school, and so I decided to go with that, which was sad not to travel, but I've now been able to travel and do other things in summers and embrace the students and things like that. Fortunately, there was a graduate assistantship open in the Romance Languages and Literatures department at BC, so I got a feel for what that was like and could compare it back and forth to what I liked more about Holy Cross's foreign language department. But it was also great to be able to speak Spanish every day I worked there. I was speaking Spanish every day, I was hearing Italian, I was trying to brush up on the French I had studied in Leon. It was awesome. Anything you can do to speak Spanish anywhere. I mean, I talk to people at the mall, at the gym. It's like, people are like, oh my god, Megan's going again. But I did all my classes. I did 2 in bilingualism, which were in English, not Spanish, unfortunately. But that was great coming out of the 2 linguistics classes I've taken here and with teaching. That was a lot of fun. And coming from a Spanish major's background, you really add a lot to the classroom because most people in there haven't really gone too far with a second language, and they're coming from understanding English, trying to help English language learners. And being a Spanish major, I think you have a lot to offer those classes. And I also took another linguistics class at BC, which was awesome, and really went into more detail about the dialects and the differences between countries and how they speak language. And that's the kind of class you have to take in order to get certified in the state. So if you have a chance to take linguistics classes here, definitely take advantage because they're awesome and they really help you be able to explain the language better. So then, again, I was like, do I travel? Do I not? And I ended up hearing from my aunt's neighbor who went to BC for a master's, teaches in Reading, and gave me, I had a scholarship from BC, Bank of America Teacher Scholar Award, which if you're going to go to grad school, find a way for somebody to pay for it. If you're going to teach and get paid what they pay you to teach in public school, and especially private, I mean Catholic school too, you don't get paid that much. And if you can find a way, some program to get them to pay for you, do it. There's Urban Catholic Teacher Corps in Boston. There's other teacher corps throughout the country. I had the Bank of America Award, like I said, and if you teach 3 years in a shortage area subject, which is Spanish, math, science, they'll forgive